Everyone's an expert on the TikToks these days, especially with their weight loss and nutrition tips. I'm a biochemist, an actual expert, so let's break some of these tips down. Fact or fiction?
How to eat a testicle. Probably some livestock testicle. Let's see.
How to eat a testicle in 4 steps.
It takes 4 steps to eat a testicle. Good.
Step 1, peel back the skin.
I question whether that has skin on it right now. That would involve a scrotum. Let's keep going.
Step 2, cut it in half. Step 3, scrape off the nut meat. Step 4, take a bite of that nut.
Okay. I recommend cooking food before you eat it. Cooking food does a couple of interesting things. Number 1, it kills germs, which I recommend you do when you eat things, before you eat things specifically. Second, when you cook food, you actually get more nutrients out of it. This may have some sort of superstition involved with, well, if I eat testicles, I get magic out of it, and I can assure you that hormonal components that you might actually ingest after eating a testicle would pass through you and or just get demolished by the liver rather than getting anything remotely interesting. Believe me, if testicles made you more manly, that would really get popular a long time ago, more. And still today.
These nuts?
TikTok trends that actually work for fat loss.
TikTok trends that actually work for fat loss. Actually.
Loss Part 4. Chia seed water.
Part 4. Chia seed water.
Chia expands your stomach and form a thick gel. It reduces your appetite and increases feeling of fullness, which helps you to...
Okay, so when you do add water to chia seeds and you let it soak, they do swell up. It does sort of get that soluble fiber that it has in there nice and gooey. If you've ever done it, you basically make a big bowl of snot. Pretty gross, super interesting. And it does thicken the water, making it so that it actually takes longer to absorb, so that when you do consume it, it does sit in your intestines longer, and that can increase satiety. In the short term, this actually would help keep you fuller for longer, especially if you had it with a low-calorie meal rather than instead of one. If you ate a meal and then had this concoction, or you had this concoction and then ate the meal, it would actually take a meal that you did have and make it sort of go a little bit further. In that regard, it would end up keeping you fuller for longer. Would it work very long if you only did this? No. You'd end up overriding that pretty fast. Although once in a while, if you have a smaller meal and you do this, it would carry you to the next one. And if you keep your calories lower, you do have body fat loss, insofar as if you consume fewer calories than you expend. So, okay.
Nice.
Hey y'all, I'm back with the next diet trend. Paired with a
Lose 10 pounds in a week, lose 30 pounds in 15 days. Right off the bat, this sounds interesting because the rate of weight loss actually increases. Very interesting. You seldom see that, even in claims like this. To lose 10 pounds in a week, that makes it about 1.5 pounds a day, okay? And then to go 30 pounds in 15 days, the rate goes up to 2 pounds a day by average, which makes it that the second week, you end up losing more than 2 pounds a day. So in 8 days, you lose 20 pounds, 2.5 pounds a day.
There's no way.
Flabbergasted. All right.
Paired with a healthy diet, I heard you can lose 10 pounds in a week or 30 pounds in 15 days. Drink this in the morning before breakfast and at night before bed. You can either make 2 batches in one day, or you can just split this one in half. It's up to you. I don't always strain mine, but it is optional. Just look how pretty that color is. It smells so good.
Yes, the pretty color makes all the difference in losing 2.5 pounds a day.
Damn.
It smells so good and tastes even better.
Okay, so just back of hand, it looks like that shake, smoothie, what do people call these things? It might have 200 calories in it. Might. And so I guess if you have that twice a day, you have 400 calories a day from sugar. That basically means that if you just have one meal and a Coca-Cola a day, and a vitamin C pill, I guess, you end up losing 2.5 pounds a day on your second week. Even just basic calorie deficit calculations, you'd have to really stay pretty active to have that make sense. I'll just leave it at that. If you legitimately lost 2.5 pounds a day of fat, you would feel miserable as hell. And maybe you could keep it up for a week. You would stay active the entire day.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
And eat very little. And you would hydrate with this stupid thing. At least it keeps you from getting scurvy.
You see these chia seeds?
Motivational doc. Do I see these chia seeds? I do see these chia seeds.
This could do amazing things for your health. You can take the chia seeds, put it in a full glass of water, let it sit there for about 10-15 minutes and drink it right down first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Or you could take these chia seeds, put it in your smoothie, 1 tablespoon. What this will do, it will boost your digestion, it will improve your bowel movement.
If someone knows what boost your digestion means, please tell me. Because last time I checked, digestion means you take larger molecules and you turn them into smaller molecules with enzymes. So that means that this chia seed stuff, either one, contains enzymes that will digest your food, or it somehow makes the enzymes you do have work faster. And that would probably hurt your tummy because it would get hot.
It's great for your protein intake.
Seeds do have protein in them. Does that make them great for your protein? No.
Your heart, your bones, it will help sustain normal blood sugar levels, great for your digestion, it will help remove constipation, and it will help you lose weight.
Great for your heart. Maybe he hints at the soluble fiber in the chia seeds sequestering dietary cholesterol that you consume with your other meals if they come into contact with each other during digestion and gastric transit, etc. Also making the assumption that dietary cholesterol actually ends up causing heart problems, which jury's out, etc. Okay? How that makes it great for your heart beats me. Boosting digestion, very confusing. See the enzyme commentary. Will it help keep you full? Yes. If a person tracks the calories that they consume, if they account for the foods they consume either by calories, cups, or regular meals, etc., the feeling of fullness that you would get from consuming the extra soluble fiber, which chia seeds do have calories too, by the way, might have you feeling more satisfied during the day. Although if you maintain the food intake you had before, you'd probably end up gaining weight because you have the same amount of food you had before, and then you add seeds on top of it, which do have protein, fat, and carbohydrate, regardless of whether they have soluble fiber. Now, as far as the benefits for blood sugar, you may see something like that if you consume this with a meal, because it may slow down digestion and absorption, slow gastric transit, etc. So you might see the glycemic index go down a little bit, although the glycemic load actually goes up, meaning the total amount of carbohydrate you have entering your bloodstream goes up. Why? Because the chia seeds also have some amount of carbohydrate in them.
This is 1 pint of ice cream, 1,000 calories. And this is 8 cups of protein ice cream, 385 calories. It's
How much? 8 cups?
And this is 8 cups of protein ice cream.
Okay, so he makes protein ice cream, whatever that means. He has 8 cups of it.
Ice cream, 385 calories. It's definitely ice cream. The way I diet is eating low calorie.
It's definitely ice cream.
I just don't know how it's gonna work.
Okay, so this poor guy defines ice cream by the viscosity of the fluid. Okay.
Dense foods. And I can guarantee you can eat this entire pint of ice cream and still be hungry. Or you can eat 2 liters of protein ice cream, still be full, and remain in a deficit.
So if you ate a pint of ice cream that had 1,000 calories in it, would you stay hungry? No.
It's ice cream time.
You'd feel that. You'd feel that. You would knock down 1,000 calories though. Now this 2 liters of protein ice cream probably consists of thickeners, maybe alginates or other gums, which trap water, and when you blend it creates bubbles, and so they end up trapping gas and they trap fluid, and when you use ice and things of that nature, it ends up making a cold sort of foam that does take up a lot of space. And when you eat it, it does fill up that space. And I have tried this before, disclaimer, feels bad, man. And you end up feeling very bloated and very bad. Do you want to eat? No. Do you still feel hungry? Yes. Because you have chemoreceptors and those sorts of other interesting things that when you eat, your body can actually sort of read or sense how much nutrition you get. And so your chemoreceptors interact with more or less your baroreceptors, or these receptors that sense stretchy stuff, like if it expands. So fullness actually has multiple components to it that involve chemical and physical interactions. So you have the stretching and you have the chemical sensory stuff to see if you consume carbohydrate, fat, protein, etc. And so the body has this sort of multiple safety mechanism for fullness, because if you could feel satisfied just by feeling full, then you could eat dirt and feel fine. And for the people that have done this, that have either eaten strange things, or like if you look up the cotton ball diet or something crazy like that, I think a while ago this trend existed where people would eat cotton balls to try and fill themselves up, that it actually works out pretty bad because you feel starving and have a distended stomach because of this multiple fold sensory system that your digestive tract has to make sure that, one, you get enough food, and two, that the food you contain, or rather the food that you eat, contains nutrients that'll keep you going.
It's packed with nutrients.
Because if you just ate dirt and felt good, you die pretty fast. Oh, interesting. So yeah, actually, protein fluff sort of stuff, you can look that up. It does work as a wonderful snack that does help curb craving/appetite. Doing something like this, you will feel bad, and you sometimes may actually end up risking some gastrointestinal issues. On the extreme end, maybe a little bit of rupturing if you do something really silly. That would take a lot though. But really, you'd end up getting gas, you'd feel constipated, and overall just gross. So do you feel satisfied when you consume this? No, you more just feel bad if you eat the whole thing. So to summarize this, look up protein fluff and have a few servings and see how you feel. It works pretty good sometimes.
Oh, I'm definitely buying something.
King, if you want to lose weight and get shredded for the summer, here's an easy tip. Next time you...
King. Does this mean he directs the video towards men or males if you want to lose weight for the summer? Okay.
Next time you get a craving that's going to throw you off your diet, just do this. This is Miss Buttersworth sugar-free syrup, but you can use any brand you like. This is like barely any calories, and it's gonna kill that craving in no time.
Interesting. So he proposes that when you have a craving and you want to eat something that has a lot of calories in a small amount of space, therefore raising the risk that you overeat and gain fat, which causes problems if you have the goal of losing fat, especially for summer, etc. He suggests that you consume sugar-free maple syrup. Yes, actually, sugar-free maple syrup rocks as a topping for all sorts of things. This actually works in a similar way to the protein fluff. The Miss Butterworth's sugar-free syrup stuff does contain thickeners in it, alginates, gums, etc. that trap water, and it creates a gel, just like the chia seeds, by the way.
And they are not forgotten.
Uses soluble fibers to trap the water and tastes sweet, and it has a thick sort of consistency. So if you do a gloop of it, kind of like a messed up honey maybe, he supposes that this will curb your craving. Now, if you want chocolate and you bloop some sugar-free Miss Buttersworths in your mouth, then you will have sugar-free Miss Buttersworth in your mouth and still want the chocolate. So does this work as a viable cravings crusher? Maybe it does for him. People have done stuff like this for many years, like they chew gum in between if you want to have something sweet. This does, however, from a behavior standpoint, give you something to do other than overeat, something that has higher calorie density. So let's say from a generic behavior standpoint, if you train yourself to have a lower calorie option when you have a craving instead of a higher calorie option, then over time you would consume fewer calories. And if you put yourself in a deficit, that ends up putting you on track to lose fat. And in principle, you could use anything to do this. Does this crush cravings? calories? I will say no. Does it give you something alternative to having actual maple syrup or Downing donuts? Sure. You still run the risk of the protein ice cream sort of thing of if you have too much, one, it still has calories, and two, you will have some GI upset, some poops, some gas, and some other ugly stuff that might happen. I recommend against this. If you have cravings issues, actually look at your meal structure, and it would behoove you sometimes to actually eat fewer times and have larger meals because of what we discussed before about increasing, raising, slowing gastric transit. If you have bigger meals, they stay in you longer, and if they stay in you longer, you stay satisfied longer. So some people, it actually works better for them if they have fewer, larger meals because it actually carries them to the next meal. Starting a new diet. So this poor girl has a clip of her starting a new diet, which has her eating celery, which consists of about 99.99999% water and then cellulose, fancy word for fiber. So mostly water, crunchy water. Mama Kashey would call it crunchy water. And then going to cheating. This implies a couple of things. One, you have what some fancy psychology people would call restriction disinhibition patterning, where if you deprive yourself of something too long, you end up sort of rebounding and overdoing it. And this actually encompasses or entails that sort of storyline, if you want to call it that. And for that reason, if you end up looking at the calorie intake, if you for a couple of days eat very low calories, and then even for one day or even one meal eat a ton of calories, when you disinhibit, that really just covers all of the other times that you ate less eating celery only. So this gives us an idea of, well, how can we achieve something a little more sustainable? And do you do pounds of chocolate or do you do celery? Maybe it just means you have balanced meals and you have regular meals with regular foods at regular times and having a little bit less than you did before, and watch things tick down in a reasonable way.
Here's 4 things you can do to lose weight without counting calories.
Losing weight without counting calories.
Have one big ass salad a day.
And one big ass salad. Big fan of big ass salads. Big ass salads or big ass salads. You can decide.
Make sure you put some protein in it. Make sure you get at least 25 grams of protein at breakfast. Fill up on strawberries and watermelon. They're only like 150 calories for a whole fucking pound. And use sparkling water to help curb your hunger.
Okay, so if you have an aversion to counting calories, he suggests to go on what some researchers would call a volumetric diet, where you change the calorie density of the foods you consume. So if you refer to sort of generic nutrition dogma, protein has 4 calories per gram, carbohydrate has 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per gram. And within those grams, you also have calories per pound of food. So strawberries, according to this, he says they have 150 calories per pound. That would mean they have, let us just use the method he has in his video, that strawberries have 1/3 of a calorie per gram. That means strawberries, like celery, have lots of water in them. And so this goes back to the chemoreceptor, baroreceptor sort of argument that for the short term, you can have foods that have mostly water and some nutrients, and for a little while, your weight will tick down until your brain goes, nah bro, and it starts realizing that you end up stretching your tummy at a ratio that looks wrong compared to how many calories you actually consume, and your behavior will actually adjust. I feel like I'm birthing a baby. And so the nervous system will actually make you tolerant of higher food loads. And that means you might eat 2 pounds of strawberries, or 3 pounds of strawberries, or 4 pounds of strawberries, which sounds crazy, but remember, a pound only equals 16 ounces, and a bottle of water has 16 ounces. So if you can drink a bottle of water, you can eat a pound of strawberries. And so if you stick with a plan like this long enough, you can end up overeating because you actually adjust to the food volume. So doing something like this, really, it has a low chance of success for a long-term solution. Now, for real though, you can incorporate this maybe 1 or 2 days a week. So if you eat normally on the other days, and then you have a couple of low-calorie days that use volumetric foods like this, you can actually make it a sustainable approach, because maybe 4 days a week you eat normal, and then 3 days a week you eat the massive salad, tons of fruit, basic protein sources. You still get the nutrients, you still get protein, and those days you have lower calories. So when you take the average, on the days you eat low lower calories, you still have a lot of total food stuff. And on the other days, since you eat normal, it can still keep the behavior really maintaining okay. Like this, if you do it that way, it actually ends up working out okay.
I've lost 170 pounds eating out most of the time. I just
lost 170 pounds eating out most of the time. Nice, good for you.
Do it in a low carb, keto friendly way. Here's how I order at Taco Bell.
Girl, when I tell you, my most requested video by far has been how to eat keto at Taco Bell, and I promise it's so easy. Normally I just get this #1, which comes with 3 crunchy taco supremes, and then I dump it all out into a box. But they had that $5 special that comes with 3 taco type things in it, so I just got that because it's $5 and you can't beat it. This is my favorite soda from Taco Bell, and why I go half the time. It's the Mountain Dew Baja Zero.
Low-key, that sounds pretty good. The nerd in me likes Mountain Dew. It reminds me of LAN parties in the garage in high school. Do I show my age?
These are my favorite sauces, the Diablo and the Hot. This is how that
Diablo sauce. Taco Bell did good with Diablo sauce.
$5 special box comes, and as you can see, it's 3 taco type things, and you just dump it right into the box, just like this, just like you would do if you got the
Okay, so she makes a big salad from some of the stuff she gets at Taco Bell.
#1 with the 3 tacos, and I just eat it with a fork. Sometimes I'll bring low carb tortillas.
I also like eating food with forks. You know, this woman sounds pretty reasonable.
Sometimes I'll bring my keto friendly chips, but it is good just like this.
Okay, so she suggests when you go to a fast food restaurant to lower the calories. She calls it keto, although we can nitpick about that all day if she measures her blood ketones or not. Let us just say that she has, by her definition, a high protein, low carbohydrate diet that she mostly manages by eating out. And in this video, she uses Taco Bell as an example.
You want to go to Taco Bell?
And when she goes to Taco Bell, she orders tacos, immediately dumps the tacos out into a bowl, and makes a taco salad. So she does make low-calorie meals that do have vegetables. They do have protein in them. Now, does this have amazing vegetables? No, although presumably she eats multiple times a day. So if she has a small pile of vegetables 4 times a day, then she does pretty good. Do I recommend you only eat out? No, because that would break so many health guru rules. Also keep in mind, a person at her body weight when she started, you actually store quite a bit of nutrients in your fat, and a lot of people kind of forget about that. That actually, if you have a ton of body fat and you lose it, you have nutrients stored in your body fat other than the fat itself that start circulating, specifically fat-soluble vitamins. So keep in mind that super heavy people that start losing weight, they can have really bad diets from a nutrient standpoint or a vitamin standpoint because they actually have a lot of stuff stored in the fat. So just as an interesting aside. Really good for her for losing so much weight. If you do go to Taco Bell, you can make a taco salad. Actually pretty reasonable.
Did you know that for over 5 years in a row, the Mediterranean diet has been voted the healthiest way to eat for overall health?
The Mediterranean diet has been voted the healthiest way to eat for overall health. Who sanctioned this competition? Do you know what healthy means? Overall health? Lots of words, lots of terms. Who sanctioned this voting? Hanging chads. Showing my age again.
The reason being is pretty obvious. Aside from the healthy food choices that you're
It's pretty obvious because of healthy food choices.
Gonna be making on this diet, it's also kind of a lifestyle. So making sure that you enjoy these foods, taking your time eating these meals, not rushing through, eating them.
So interesting points here where she considers the Mediterranean diet, voted the healthiest diet 4 years in a row by who knows who for overall health, actually encompasses a lifestyle that includes enjoying your foods and making your food social. Both of these things, plus. Do they have anything to do with the Mediterranean diet? With the fair amount of literature perusing I have done about the Mediterranean diet, some zero of them have actually talked about you have to like the food and eat it with other people. Do I consider that something good? Absolutely. Does it have to do with the Mediterranean diet? No. You can like the foods you enjoy and eat them with other people, eating anything, which I also suggest you do.
Them with family and friends, enjoying them with a glass of wine. There's so many health benefits. It's been shown to help cardiovascular health, help people who are having issues controlling their blood sugar, help people lose weight. It also helps with mood and gut issues, so many things, mostly because this is just wholesome food. It's not made in a factory. All of the foods that you should be eating on
wholesome food, not made in a factory. Okay, things looked okay. You do have various health benefits when you have vegetables and protein and fat in good quantities. Do these foods in particular, especially if you just get them at the run-of-the-mill supermarket, have anything special about them? No. So she lists of the benefits that she lists come by and large from weight loss. which great.
Are single ingredient things like vegetables, fruits, proteins, nuts, fats, all of the good things.
Single ingredient foods including fats. So she makes good points that when you have, we like to call foods that are ingredients rather than foods with ingredients, you also sort of appeal to that volumetric diet style where you get more calories bang for your buck by weight. So if you have a stick of butter, that has a lot of calories in it if you have a pound of butter. Or, so I think off the top of my head, actually we could just do it. A basic calculation here. Just straight up Google 3,300 calories per pound. And with most fruits, only a couple hundred calories per pound. If you just go by the mass, the calorie density of these wholesome foods amounts to much less than factory foods, where the major difference between them consists of whether or not they have extra water. So a lot of processed foods, stuff that you see in packages, they take the water out of them because it decreases the weight, it increases the shelf life, etc. It has various benefits, which we can talk about some other time, separate from the nutrient stuff. So she does say that if you swap two single ingredient foods, and those single ingredient foods will end up causing health benefits probably from the weight loss they cause, at least in the short term, because they have more water in them, which means if you eat the same amount of food by mass, if you have 5 pounds of pizza one day and 5 pounds of lean fish and vegetables the next, you'll have fewer calories, and so you'll end up seeing benefits. Will you end up restoring nutrient deficiencies? Maybe. Do you have some benefits with the fatty acid content? Maybe. Really, in the short term, the weight loss ends up creating a lot of those health benefits, which great.
Fats, all of the good things. So if you're looking for a healthy lifestyle of eating, try the Mediterranean.
The healthy lifestyle of eating actually gets me. I wonder where to reference this Mediterranean diet that includes the lifestyle component. In either case, I and many other people approve of having vegetables, starch, protein, and fat with meals. Just have balanced meals, have enough for you, and if you want your weight to go down, eat a little bit less, move a little bit more. It ends up working out so long as you stay accountable to yourself.